Hi friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Knowledge Academy. The meaning of this lecture is to discuss about the communication systems prelims questions of IAS or ESC exam in a very detailed manner. If you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever you upload a new video, the direct notification comes on mobile. If any improvements needed in our lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. So why do we waste more time? So let's get started. So now we are going to solve the 41 question. See the question here. In the circuit shown below, the transformers are center tapped and the diodes are connected as shown in a bridge. So between the terminals 1 and 2, an AC voltage source of frequency 400 volts is connected and another AC voltage source of 1 MHz is connected between the terminals 5 and 6. So the output between the 3 and 4 contains components at. So here they have given a 2 AC sources of different frequencies they have given. At the terminals 1 and 2, the frequency we are going to apply is 400 Hz, and we are going to add another AC source across the 5 and 6 terminals of frequency 1 MHz. So we need to find what is the frequencies are present at the terminals 3 and 4. We need to figure out. So out of the 4 options, option D is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. See, the circuit which is given in this question is nothing but this is a center tap transformer with the 4 diodes are connected in this manner, and this is the output. So these are the terminals 1 and 2, 5 and 6 and 3 and 4. In the question they have said that across the terminals 1 and 2 we are connecting a source of frequency 400 Hz, and across the terminals 5 and 6 we are going to connect another source of frequency 1 MHz. So we need to find what are the frequency components which are present in this at this terminals 3 and 4. So basically this circuit is called as the ring modulator circuit. So this circuit basic function is it is going to produce the S of T DSB, means only the dual sidebands are going to present but not the carrier signal. So only the dual sidebands are going to produce in this output. So therefore this is the basic circuit for the production of the S of T DSB. So here across the terminals 1 and 2 we are going to give a message signal of frequency FM is equal to 400 Hz, and across the terminals 5 and 6 we are going to connect a carrier signal of frequency 1 MHz. So the output is going to produce is called as the S of T DSB. Only dual sidebands are going to present but not the carrier signal. So there is no amount of the carrier signal is going to present in this. So by this circuit we need to figure out the number of frequencies which are present in this S of T DSB. So let me tell a small concept here. See, M of T is called as a message signal. The basic waveform is Vm cos 2 pi FMT, and similarly the carrier signal basic equation is Vc cos 2 pi FCT. So basically S of T DSB is nothing but just do the product of this M of T and the C of T. So this is the basic function of the DSB. Means if you want to write the expression for the DSB, you need to multiply the products of the M of T and C of T. So if we do the product of these two equations, we are going to get Vm Vc into cos 2 pi FMT into cos 2 pi FCT. So by using the basic trigonometric functions we can make this one Vm Vc by 2 cos of 2 pi Fc plus FMT plus cos 2 pi Fc minus Fm into T. So basic function is here cos A into cos B. So cos A into cos B is nothing but half of cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. So this is the basic trigonometric equation. So from this only we wrote this one. So therefore now if you see carefully here, S of T DSB is having two components of frequencies which are Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm. Only these are the two frequencies which are going to present in this S of T DSB. So therefore Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm are the only two frequency components which are going to present this S of T DSB. So therefore here in the question Fm is equal to 400 Hz. So we can convert in terms of kilohertz as 0.4 kilohertz, and similarly Fc is equal to 1 MHz. So I am going to convert in terms of kilohertz. So therefore we are going to convert this 1 MHz in terms of the 1000 into kilohertz. So therefore we can write 1000 kilohertz. So therefore now Fc plus Fm is nothing but you need to add this Fc plus Fm if you get 1000.4 kilohertz, and similarly Fc minus Fm if you do subtraction we are going to get 999.6 kilohertz. So therefore these are the two frequency components which are going to present in this output S of T DSB. So this is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 42nd question. See the question here. A DSB SC signal. A DSB SC signal is to be generated with a carrier frequency of 1 MHz using a nonlinear device with the input-output characteristics is. So they are given the input-output characteristics of the nonlinear device, which is V0 is equal to A0 Vi plus AI Vi whole cube. So therefore now A0 and A1 are the constants. The output of the nonlinear device can be filtered by an approximate band pass filter, which is Vi is equal to AC to the power of I cos of 2 pi Fc power of I t plus m of t, where m of t is the message signal. So the value of the Fc to the power of I in megahertz is. So this is the circuit for this nonlinear device. They are given the input output characteristics, and in this question we need to find what is the value of the Fc to the power of I. So out of the 4 options, option C is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So now in the previous question we discussed the S of t DSB can be produced by the ring modulator circuit. So by using the nonlinear device also we are going to produce the S of t DSB. Only dual sidebands are going to carry but not the carrier power. So therefore here in the circuit consists of, there is a summation box. So for the summation box we are going to add the m of t and Vc dash cos 2 pi Fc dash t. So the summation of these two signals is the input of the V of t. So V1 of t is the summation of this m of t and Vc dash cos 2 pi Fc t. So this input is given to the nonlinear device. This nonlinear device has a cube law. By using the cube law, this is going to produce the output Vt of t. This output is given as the input for the band pass filter. From this band pass filter we are going to get an output which is S of t DSB. So therefore this S of t DSB is nothing but product of the m of t into C of t. So we are going to know what is the pure derivation. From this derivation only we are going to solve this numerical. So in the question they are given this Fc dash we need to figure out. This Fc dash we need to figure out, and the frequency of the carrier signal is 1 megahertz. So from this Fc 1 megahertz we need to find what is this Fc dash. So before solving this numerical, let me explain a small concept of this total circuit. From this total circuit we are going to solve this numerical. See here, this V1 of t is nothing but summation of this m of t and Vc dash cos 2 pi Fct. So therefore m of t plus Vc dash cos 2 pi Fct, because there is a summation box. So here V2 of t is nothing but V1 of t is a cube law. In the question also they are given the input output characteristics of this nonlinear device is nothing but V2 of t is equal to A1 V1 of t plus A2 V1 cube t. So linearly and the cube law. So therefore this is the input output relation of this nonlinear device. So in place of V1t I am going to substitute this one. So therefore A1, this V1 of t I substitute here, I and A2 V1 of t I substitute here, and I have taken the cube. So therefore here A plus B whole cube is nothing but A cube plus B cube plus 3A square B plus 3AB square. I am assuming A is equal to m of t and B is equal to Vc dash cos 2 pi Fc dash t. So therefore now this is the output of this nonlinear device. This V2 of t is now input to the band pass filter. So we are going to choose a band pass filter in such a way, so therefore this first two terms and these three terms A cube, B cube, 3A square B, all these terms are filtered by this band pass filter, means all these terms are removed by this band pass filter, and the only thing we are going to produce, we are going to get the output of this band pass filter is only this term. So therefore 3AB square is the only term which we are going to get output of this band pass filter, and remaining all the terms are filtered by this band pass filter by choosing a particular frequency. So therefore now the only term which we are going to get, which is 3AB square into A2. A2 is a constant. So therefore A2 into 3. A is nothing but m of t, B is nothing but Vc dash cos 2 pi Fc dash whole square. Square means again square. So now we are going to solve this one. So cos square theta is nothing but 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. That is what I have did here. Again there is some constant part. This constant part from this also, from this constant part is also removed by this band pass filter. So therefore only term which you are going to get is A2 3 m of t Vc dash square. This one term is not going to get from the output of the band pass filter. So therefore only this thing, cos 2 pi Fc dash by 2. So only this thing we are going to get. Means simply what I am trying to say is, take this 2 outside. Just take this 2 outside, and this one part is going, this constant part is not going to get from the output, means this is going to be filtered by this band pass filter. So therefore this is the only thing we are going to get now. So this is the equation I have written here. So now what I am going to do is, now I am going to assume 3 by 2 A2 Vc dash square as nothing but Vc, and 2 Fc dash I am going to assume as Fc. So therefore now here Vc is equal to 3 by 2 A2 Vc dash square and Fc is equal to 2 Fc dash. So here this become Vc m of t cos 2 pi Fct. This is what I have written here. So this is not Vc, this is nothing but here now Fc. fc into t. So therefore fc is equal to fc dash and vc is equal to 3 by 2 a to vc dash square. So now this vc into cos of 2 pi fct is nothing but c of t. So therefore m of t into c of t. So finally s of t dsb is nothing but product of the m of t and c of t. So finally what I am trying to say is fc is equal to fc dash. In the question they have given fc is equal to 1 megahertz. We need to find what is fc dash. So therefore here fc is equal to fc dash, as fc is equal to 1 megahertz 2 into fc dash. So therefore fc dash is equal to 0.5 megahertz. So this nonlinear device is going to produce the s of t dsb from these two input signals m of t and vc dash cos 2 pi fc dash. So now we are going to solve the 43rd question. See the question here. The Hilbert transform of cos of omega 1t plus sin of omega 2t is. So now we are going to give the input of this Hilbert transform is cos of omega 1t plus sin of omega 2t. So we need to find what is the output of this one. So what are the four options? Option A is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So now for this Hilbert transform, if the input is x of t and the output is y of t. So in the question they are given the input is nothing but x of t is equal to cos of omega 1t plus sin of omega 2t. So we need to find what is this output of this Hilbert transform. So if you see carefully, the main function of Hilbert transform is to provide a minus 90 degree phase shift for the positive frequencies and plus 90 degree phase shift for the negative frequencies. So basically the negative frequencies has no meaning. So therefore we are going to take this as minus 90 degree for the phase shift for the positive frequencies. So here this Hilbert transform is going to produce an output with a phase difference of minus 90 degree for the positive frequencies. So therefore wherever this omega 1t, just you need to add minus 90 degree. So therefore minus 90 degree for the first term, and similarly add in place of omega t, just add minus 90 degree. So therefore minus 90 degree. So it is going to give only a phase shift of minus 90 degree. So therefore blindly add minus 90 for the first one and minus 90 for the second one. So therefore now what I am going to do is take negative as a common. So negative common, 90 minus omega 1t, here also negative common. So therefore minus of 90 minus omega 2t. Cos of minus theta is nothing but cos theta. So therefore cos of 90 minus omega 1t, and sin of minus theta is nothing but minus sin theta. So therefore minus sin theta. Theta is 90 minus omega 2t. So cos of 90 minus omega 1t is nothing but sin of omega 1t, and sin of 90 minus theta is nothing but cos theta. So cos of omega 2t. So therefore this is the output of this circuit. So therefore this Hilbert transform is going to produce an output with a phase difference of minus 90 degree for the positive frequencies. Just add the minus 90 degree for each and every term. So then we are going to get this output. Now we are going to solve the 44th question. See the question here. For a message signal m of t is equal to cos 2 pi fmt and carrier of frequency fc, which of the following represents a single sideband SSB signal? So from this we need to figure out what is the SSB signal out of the four options. So out of the four options, option C is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So now we are going to explain some small concept. Based on this concept we can easily solve this numerical. See here, the message signal m of t is equal to Vm cos 2 pi ft, and the carrier signal standard equation is Vc cos 2 pi fct. So I already told you the S of t dsb can be produced by that just by doing the product of the m of t and c of t. So m of t, c of t. So if it is the product of these two things, we are going to get like this, and cos of a into b is nothing but half of cos of a plus b plus cos of a minus b. So by using this trigonometric formula I have made like this. So therefore this dsb is going to contain the frequencies of fc plus fm and fc minus fm. This is the highest frequency and this is the lowest frequency. So this is individually, this is called as the S of t upper sideband, and this low frequency term individually is called as the S of t LSB. So therefore S of t DSB is nothing but summation of the S of t USB and S of t LSB. So this upper sideband and lower sideband individually called as a single sideband. So from these two terms, by using the particular frequency of band pass filter, either we can get only S of t USB or either we can get S of t LSB by choosing the proper bandwidth for the band pass filter. So these individually are called as a single sideband. Single sideband means nothing but, suppose here in previously I have told you PT plus upper side PC carrier power plus total power is equal to summation of the carrier power and upper sideband plus lower sideband. So in the single sideband, what is going to happen is in total power only this is removed, or either out of these two terms one thing is removed. So let me assume this term I am going to remove. So therefore now single sideband means it is going to contain only one single band. So let me assume the single band is lower sideband. So therefore only lower sideband it is going to contain. Or suppose if you want to remove this lower sideband, so therefore now the another single sideband is only USB. So out of these two terms one term is removed, so therefore the another term we are going to get is called as a single sideband. So in this single sideband either we can get FC plus FM or either we can get FC minus FM, but not the both present on only DSB, but individually they can only have FC plus FM or FC minus FM. So in the options, if you see carefully, there is no term like FC minus FM. So there is only FC plus FM. So therefore from this there is no FC plus FM, no FC plus FM or no FC plus FM. So you can, in the options, if there is FC plus FM or FC minus FM, both are correct. So therefore here there is only FC plus FM. So suppose if there is FC minus FM also, it is correct. So therefore in the question they are given FC plus FM. So therefore this is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 40th question. See the question here. In the following scheme, if the spectrum M of f of M of t is as shown, then the spectrum Y of f of Y of t will be. So in the question they are given the spectrum of M of t and there is a block diagram circuit. So from the circuit we need to find what is the Y of f of the output Y of t, the spectrum Y of f we need to figure out. So here out of the four options, option A is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So now let me explain a small concept before solving this numerical. In the previous questions we have solved some numericals based on the DSB, how to produce the DSB by using the ring modulator and also nonlinear device. Now we are going to see a circuit which is going to generate this SSB we need to generate. So therefore here the basic circuit for this SSB is this one. So we are going to use a balanced modulator, and this is the input is message signal, and here this message signal is given input for this Hilbert transform. Hilbert transform is nothing but it is going to have phase shift, it is going to add a phase shift of minus 90 degree. So the output is of this Hilbert transform is M dash of t for the input M of t. So therefore this balanced modulator is just going to be a function of just doing the product, just it is going to do the product of whatever the input signals, it will just do the product of these two input signals. So here the AC source contains of Vc by 2 cos 2 pi FCT. So this Vc by 2 cos 2 pi FCT is given again input to the Hilbert transform. So therefore it is going to add a phase shift of minus 90 degree. So cos of 2 pi FCT minus 90 degree is nothing but sine of 2 pi FCT. So therefore for this balanced modulator the input is M dash of t and Vc by 2 sine 2 pi FCT, and for this balanced modulator the input is M of t and this is Vc by 2 cos 2 pi FCT. So therefore this y1 is nothing but M of t into Vc by 2 cos 2 pi FCT. That is what I have written here. And this y2 is nothing but the product of M dash of t into Vc by 2 sine of 2 pi FCT. So therefore this y2 is also product of these two signals. So now there is a summation box. For this y1 and y2 we are going to the summation box. Suppose if there is plus and this is minus, means y1, suppose if you are doing y1 minus y2, means y1 minus y2 if you are going to get y, so therefore if y is equal to subtraction, means y1 minus y2, we are going to get only the USB, means FC plus FM part only we are going to get. So suppose if you do the addition, plus plus means y is equal to y1 plus y2. So if you are taking such a manner of summation of these two signals, then we are going to get the LSB. So if you are taking subtraction means we are going to get the USB, and if you take the addition means we are going to get the LSB. So by this circuit we are going to get either USB or the LSB. Only single sideband we are going to get. This is the main circuit of this single sideband. So therefore now here minus means USB, plus means LSB. So now let's solve this numerical. This is circuit diagram which is given in the question. This circuit diagram is similar to the concept which I have told you. So here there is a Hilbert transform, and here this modulator is nothing but it is just going to do the function of the multiplying these two signals, and here also this modulator means multiplication of these two signals, the input of this one and this one. So this circuit is similar to the previous one, but here there is only plus sign. So whenever there is a plus sign, I have already told you, so whenever we are going to add these two signals, y1 and y2, we are going to produce a signal which is y. In such a manner, it is nothing but LSB. So whenever there is a positive means we are going to get LSB, and if it is a negative means we are going to get USB. But in this question there is only positive, so therefore this is nothing but USB, means we are going to get only the LSB. Sorry, we are going to get only the LSB. So basically I have already told you that DSB is nothing but summation of the USB and the LSB. Summation of the USB and the LSB. So here I have already told you USB is nothing but it contains the frequency of FC plus FM, and the LSB means FC minus FM. So if you see carefully here, they are given the Fourier transform of this M of t is nothing but M of f. This is they have given this diagram. This is the frequencies, means this M of f is going to contain frequencies from 0 frequency to plus b frequency. So therefore the bandwidth is nothing but, the bandwidth means how much amount of frequencies go, means highest frequency minus lowest frequency. Here the highest frequency is plus b and the lowest frequency is 0, because we are going to calculate bandwidth for only positive frequencies. So therefore highest frequency is b and lowest frequency is 0. So therefore highest minus lowest is nothing but b. So therefore the bandwidth of the message signal is b, means the maximum frequency which present in this message signal is b. So therefore here I already told you S of t DSB which contains the FC plus FM, and S of t LSB is going to contain FC minus FM. Here FM is called as a message signal frequency. Suppose in this case we are going to use lot of frequencies from 0 frequency to highest frequency B. So therefore here FC plus FM means now we are going to take the maximum frequency. So therefore FC plus FM max. So therefore here FM max is nothing but B. So therefore B, and similarly FC minus FM max. So max frequency is B. So therefore FC minus B. So here in the question also they are given sin 2 pi bt. So I have told you this is nothing but sin 2 pi fct. From comparing by comparing the previous circuit we can know that fc is equal to b. So now I am going to draw this DSB. So from this, suppose if there is a DSB, what is going to happen? So S of DSB is going to contain the frequency of FC plus M and FC minus FM. So therefore FC plus FM and FC minus FM means FC plus B and FC minus B. Just we need to suppose here S of DSB is nothing but product of the two signals. So in Fourier transform, if you do the Fourier transform, product in time domain is going to convert to convolution. So convolution is just shifting the signal to here FC with a circuit with a center frequency of FC, with the FC means FC and FC plus B and FC minus B. Here also minus FC, and here minus of FC minus B and minus of FC plus B. So therefore the product in time domain is going to get a convolution. Convolution means just we need to shift this signal at FC with a center frequency of FC, the bandwidth is plus B. So therefore FC plus B and FC minus B. So it is a mirror image of this one. So by using the convolution property, so from this we need to get only LSB. So LSB means only FC. So therefore FC to FC minus B only we are going to get, and similarly from minus FC to minus of FC plus B. So therefore this part is now we are going to remove. Now this part we are going to remove. So therefore this part is removed, this part is removed. So this is the LSB, S of t LSB. So we need only S of t LSB because we are going for the positive. So therefore now from this, but we already know, so therefore here FC is again B. So therefore B minus B is nothing but 0. So therefore this is going to come to 0 position, and FC is equal to B. And similarly here FC is nothing but B. So B minus B is again 0. So therefore 0, and this is minus B. So therefore this is the S of t LSB. Suppose this is the correct solution of this question. Suppose in the question here they have given negative. So what is going to happen? So if it is a negative means here again it is a negative. So if I have already told if it is negative means it is USB. So it is going to contain only the FC plus FM. So therefore here now this part is removed. Now this part is removed, only this part is going to present. So therefore now this is going to removed and this is going to be present. And similarly here also this part is going to removed and this part is going to produce. So therefore this is nothing but FC plus B, and this is now minus of FC plus B. So these are the frequencies which we are going to contain. So this is USB, but FC is again, here FC is again what? FC is B. So therefore this will come like this now, B, and FC plus B is again B plus B is nothing but 2B. So therefore this is the 2B. So here also same thing, mirror image. So it is B means again minus B, 2B means minus 2B. So therefore minus 2b. This is for the USB. So this is an extra analysis. Suppose if there is a negative means we are going to get USB in this fashion, and this option is also present. So it is option present in D, but we want S of t LSB. So therefore LSB means in this manner we get. So this is the correct solution of this question. Going to solve the 46th question, and it's a very very interesting question. Out of all the questions which I have solved, this is a very very interesting question. So let's solve this numerical. A 100 megahertz carrier of 1 volt amplitude and a 1 megahertz modulating signal of 1 volt amplitude are fed to a balanced modulator. So they are given the message signal amplitude and frequency, and the carrier signal amplitude and the frequency also they have given. So the output of the modulator is passed through a ideal high pass filter with cutoff frequency of 100 megahertz. So this output of this balanced modulator is passed through a ideal high pass filter of 100 megahertz. Cutoff frequency is 100 megahertz. So the output of this filter is added with a 100 megahertz signal of 1 volt amplitude and 90-degree phase shift as shown in the figure. So now the envelope of the resultant signal is, so we need to find what is the envelope of the resultant signal. So all the four options, option C is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So listen carefully. This question is a very very interesting question. So this is a balanced modulator. For this balanced modulator, they are given two signals as input, which is message signal of 1 megahertz and the peak amplitude of VM is of message signal is VM is equal to 1 volt, and similarly the carrier signal frequency of 100 megahertz and the peak amplitude of the carrier signal is 1 volt. So the balanced modulator function is, it is going to the product of these two signals. So the output is Y1. So the output of this balanced modulator is Y1, and it is given as input to the high pass filter. So the cutoff frequency of this high pass filter is 100 megahertz, means it is going to pass only those components which, only those frequencies which are higher than the 100 megahertz. So therefore now Y2 is the output of the high pass filter. This output is, means this Y2 is added with another signal of frequency. Let me assume FP. FP is some signal of frequency 100 megahertz with a peak amplitude of 1 volt, and there is going to be a phase shift. There is a phase shift of 90 degrees between these two signals. Between this Y2 and this, there is a phase shift of 90 degree. That is what they are given in the question. So now if you do the summation of these two signals, we are going to get an output. So from this output, we need to find what is the envelope of this output. We need to figure out. So this is the main thing we need to figure out in this question. So here this m of t is called as a message signal. So let me write the standard equation. M of t is equal to Vm cos 2 pi fmt, where Vm is equal to 1 volt and Fm is equal to 1 megahertz. And similarly, this is a carrier signal. The standard equation is C of t is equal to Vc cos 2 pi fct. So Vc is equal to 1 volt and Fc is equal to 100 megahertz. So now here Y1 is nothing but balanced modulator is going to do as just as a function of doing the product of the two incoming signals. So this M of t and C of t, now it is going to do the product of these two signals. So therefore Y1 is nothing but M of t into C of t. So therefore you do the product of these two signals, we are going to get Vm Vc into cos of 2 pi fmt into cos 2 pi fct. So cos A into cos B is nothing but half of cos A plus B plus cos of A minus B. So by using the trigonometric function, I have rearranged like this fashion. So therefore this is the meaning of this. So now let me tell a small example here, small concept here. The Fourier transform of cos 2 pi fit is nothing but 1 by 2 delta of f minus fi plus delta of f plus fi. This is the Fourier transform of cos 2 pi fit. So this is the Fourier transform. So by using this basic formula, now I am going to apply. So for this y1 of t, I am going to apply the Fourier transform, means y1 of f. So therefore here we have now cos 2 pi fi of t is nothing but delta of f minus fc. This fi is fc plus fm, and similarly delta of f plus of fc plus fm for this first one. So there is a division of 2, so therefore 2 will become 4. And similarly Fourier transform of this signal is delta of f minus of this fi, means fc minus fm, and plus delta of f plus of fc minus fm. So for this is a Fourier transform. So now by using the basic formula, I have applied the Fourier transform on this equation. So this is the Fourier transform. This is the Fourier transform of the output signal, which is y1 of t as a Fourier transform of y1 of f. So now I am going to draw the diagram for this one, y1 of f. The components are fc plus fm and minus of fc plus fm and fc minus fm, and so minus of fc minus fm. So it is going to have impulses. So this is going to have a impulse, means fc plus fm. So this is the fc plus fm, and this is minus of Fc plus Fm. So minus of Fc plus Fm, and for this Fc minus Fm, this is the impulse of peak area Vm Vc by 4. This is the area of each and every impulse, and similarly this is this one, this delta of F, this term is this one. So therefore these two are one term and these two are another term. For the first term Fc, for the cos of 2 pi Fc plus Ft, these have impulses of this one and this blue one, and for this Fc minus Fm term we are going to get these two impulses. So now here we already know Fc is equal to, I already know 100 megahertz and F1 is equal to 1 megahertz. So therefore Fc minus Fm is nothing but 100 minus 1, it is 99 megahertz. So reverse, mirror image is also minus 99 hertz, and Fc plus Fm is 100 plus 1, so therefore 101 megahertz. So mirror image is again minus 101 hertz. So they have given, now this is a y1 of F, y1 of F. So now we are going to give to the input as a high pass filter with a highest frequency, or cutoff frequency is 100 megahertz, means it is going to pass only those frequencies which are higher than this 100 megahertz. So therefore now this high pass filter is going to do a function like this. So 100 megahertz is going to substitute it here, so between the 99 megahertz and the 101 megahertz. So therefore here also minus 100 megahertz. So between minus 101 and minus 99. So this high pass filter is going to pass only those frequencies which are above this 100 megahertz. So therefore only this impulse and only this impulse can only pass, but not this 10 megahertz are not going to pass. So therefore these two impulses are not going to be present in the y2 of t. Only is Fc plus Fm and minus of Fc plus Fm, only these two terms are going to present in this y2, because it is going to pass only those frequencies which are higher than the 100 megahertz by the high pass filter. So therefore now, so this is y1 of F. Now y2 of F. So y2 of F, it is going to contain only those terms which are Fc plus Fm and minus of Fc plus Fm. So therefore here Fc plus Fm and minus of Fc plus Fm, only these two components are going to present in the y2 of F. So therefore these two terms are eliminated. These two terms are now eliminated. So therefore this is the only two terms. So now now you are converting from y2 of F to again y2 of t. So by using this Fourier transform technique from converting, so therefore now this signal is, so simply we can write y2 of t is nothing but you take the inverse Fourier transform, otherwise remove this term, that's it, because Fc minus Fm we are not going to get. So therefore this is the term we are going to get finally, which is Vm Vc by 2 cos 2 pi Fc plus Fm into t. So only this term is going to present in the y2 of t, which is Vm Vc by 2 cos 2 pi into Fc plus Fm t. So if you do the Fourier transform of this signal, we are going to get this manner, this one. So therefore this is the output, of the high pass filter. This is y2 of t. So now here, this is nothing but here this output y of t is nothing but summation of these two signals, which is y2 of t and this signal. So therefore here in the question they are given, this is going to have a phase shift of 90 between the input y2. So therefore y of t is equal to summation of y2 of t plus, so this y2 is a nature of cos, so it will be also in the same nature cos with a frequency of fp and the phase shift of minus 90 degrees. So they are given a phase shift of 90 degree, either you can take plus 90 or minus 90, but I have taken here minus 90 degree because they have not mentioned only, they have mentioned only a 90 degree, whether it's a positive or negative they have not mentioned. So therefore let me assume it is a phase shift of minus 90 degree with respect to this y2 of t. So therefore here, as Fp and Fc both have same terms, 100 megahertz, 100 megahertz. So for easy, so now I am going to consider Fp is equal to Fc. So therefore 100 megahertz, because both have same values. If it is different means you don't have to use equal. But in this case, in this example, they both have same values, which is, so Fp is equal to Fc is equal to 100 megahertz. So y of t is equal to y2 of t plus cos of 2 pi fpt minus 90. So Fp and Fc have both values. So therefore in terms of p, I am going to use the c in this case. So therefore here y2 of t is nothing but Vm Vc by 2 cos 2 pi of Fc plus Fm into t plus, so this is cos 2 pi Fct minus 90 degree. So Vm is equal to 1 volt and Vc is also 1 volt. So 1 into 1 is nothing but 1 by 2 cos of 2 pi Fc plus Fm into t plus, here this is nothing but, so now you take the 90 minus as a common. So therefore if you take the minus as a common, it is going to like this, minus of 90 minus 2 pi fct. So cos of minus theta is nothing but again cos theta. So therefore no need here. So cos of 90 minus theta is again sin theta. So therefore sin of 2 pi fct. So this is the thing we are going to get. Now half of, so cos A plus B is again cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. I have explained this one, and plus sin 2 pi fct. So therefore now I am going to rearrange like this, so taking the half inside, so therefore half of cos 2 pi fmt into cos fct. So from these two terms, I am going to take the 2 sin 2 pi fct as common. So therefore here 1, this is 1 minus of half of sin 2 pi fmt, just doing the rearrangement, so like this manner. So let me assume this all this thing as p of t. So p of t into cos 2 pi fct plus this is as nothing but this is q of t. So therefore q of t into sin 2 pi fct. Just I am taking this term as p of t and this term as q of t. So this is sin 2 pi fct and this is cos 2 pi fct. So this is the actual output expression. This is the actual output expression. The output expression is this one, but we need only the envelope of this one. I have already told you in the previous concept only. See, p of t cos 2 pi fct, q of t into sin 2 pi fct. See, cos and sin has a phase difference of 90 degrees. So therefore here one is p of t and the other is q of t. So therefore we are going to do multiplication. So the reference is here cos. So cos is a reference. So therefore the sin is going to have 90 degrees. So therefore now the net is nothing but this is called the envelope. By using the Pythagoras theorem, the envelope is nothing but here under root over p square plus q square. Under root over p square plus q square. So therefore envelope is equal to under root over p square plus q square. So p is nothing but cos 2 pi fmt by 2. So let me assume 2 pi fmt is nothing but theta. So cos theta by 2. So q of t is equal to 1 minus of sin 2 pi fmt by 2. So 2 pi fmt I have assumed as theta. So therefore 1 minus sin theta by 2. So envelope is equal to root over. In terms of p is nothing but cos theta by 2 whole square and q is nothing but 1 minus sin theta by 2 whole square. And if you do that trigonometric, finally we are going to get under root over 5 by 4 minus sin theta. So theta is nothing but 2 pi fmt. So therefore sin of 2 pi fmt, and fm is nothing but here 1 megahertz. 1 megahertz simply we can write 10 to the power of 6 hertz. So therefore 5 by 4 minus sin 2 pi, fm is 1 megahertz means 10 to the power of 6 hertz. So therefore 10 to the power of 6 into t. So this is the envelope of the y of t. So this is the output equation. This is actual output equation and this is the envelope of the output. So now we are going to solve the 47th question. See the question here. 12 signals, each band limited to 5 kHz, are to be transmitted over a single channel by frequency division multiplexing. If AM SSB modulation guard of 1 kHz is used, then the bandwidth of the multiplex signal will be. So what are the 4 options? Option C is the correct solution of this question. Here in only one channel they are going to transmit the 12 signals, and they are also given the band guard which is 1 kHz, and they are using the AM SSB, not the AM DSB. Here in this question they are using the SSB, so modulation technique. So from this we need to find what is the bandwidth of this total S of t DSB signal we need to figure out. So what are the 4 options? Option C is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. Before I solve this numerical, let me just tell a small example. Say here there are 3 message signals. So by using the frequency division multiplexing, only through one channel we are going to transmit all these signals. So generally the message signals, arbitrary message signal can contain highest amount of frequencies. From 0 frequency to very infinite frequencies also can be present, but through a channel we cannot transmit all these frequencies. So therefore we need to confine ourselves to only some amount of frequencies. That is the reason we are going to apply this low pass filter. See, the low pass filter is going to send those signals from 0 frequency to cutoff frequency. So therefore let me assume the cutoff frequency is W. So therefore only 0 to W frequencies can pass only 0 frequency to the W frequency. So that is the reason let me assume the output of this low pass filter, which is can contain only W to 0, means again mirror image also it is going to travel. Similarly for the second signal also let me assume the square pulse which is having minus W2 plus W. So bandwidth is only positive frequency, so therefore 0 to W is again W. So therefore here also the M3 of A transform like this one, minus W2 W. So these 3 signals now modulation, by using the modulation technique with different carrier frequencies we are going to modulate this one, and then we are going to do the summation of all these signals, and then we are going to transmit. So this is called as a frequency division multiplexer transmitter. So at the receiver end, same like this, we need to do the again demodulation technique, frequency division demodulation. So then we need to get the original signals. So here this is what here. So let me assume the carrier frequency FC3 is greater than the FC2 greater than the FC1. So therefore this y of t has a Fourier transform y of f like this one. So FC minus FW to FC plus FW, this is a lower one, and FC minus W to FC plus FC2 plus W, and FC3 minus W to FC3 plus W. So therefore these signals must not over. So we are going to apply some safety factor, because if the two signals get overlap, then we are not going to get the original signal by demodulation. That is the reason. So we are going to use a guard band. So minimum small amount of difference between these two signals. So this is called as a guard band. So this is the total bandwidth, highest frequency minus lowest frequency of this output signal we need to figure out. So the bandwidth of this output signal is, for each one the bandwidth is 2W, 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 2W. So therefore 3 signals. So 3 into 2W, plus there are 2 guard bands. So 2 guard bands. So generally for n signals means nothing but n into, so 3 signals means 3, for n signals means n into 2W, plus here there are n minus 1 guard bands into guard band. So n minus 1 into guard band. So therefore suppose if n is 3 means 3 into 2W, 3 minus 1 is 2. So therefore this is the bandwidth for the DSB. Means DSB is nothing but dual sidebands, means it is going to contain the upper sideband and the lower sideband. Suppose if you want only for the single sideband, means here in place of 2W we need to pass only W. So therefore here bandwidth for SSB is nothing but in place of 2W just write the W. So therefore n into W plus n minus 1 into guard band. So therefore this is the, in the question they are asking, this is one. So in the question if they ask what is the bandwidth for DSB, this is the formula we need to use. In the question if they ask bandwidth for SSB, means this is the formula. So in the question they are given there are 12 signals with the signals have the bandwidth is 5 kilohertz and the guard band has a frequency of 1 kilohertz, and now we need to find what is the bandwidth for the AM SSB. So therefore n into W plus n minus 1 into guard band. So n is 12 and W is 5 and n is 12 minus 1 into 1. So that is what I have written here. So if you solve this one, we are going to get 71 kilohertz. So 71 kilohertz is the bandwidth of the single sideband. Now we are going to solve the 40th question. See the question here. A modulated signal is given by S of t is equal to m1 of t into cos 2 pi fct plus m2 of t into sin 2 pi fct, where the baseband signal m1 of t and m2 of t have bandwidths of 10 kilohertz and the 15 kilohertz. Means m1 of t and m2 of t are nothing but the message signals. They are given the bandwidth of the message signals also. So respectively the bandwidth of the modulated signal is, so for this S of t we need to find what is the bandwidth. So what are the 4 options? Option D is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. Before I solve this numerical, let me tell a small concept here. So this circuit which you are going to see is called as a QCM, quadrature carrier multiplexing, or QAM, quadrature AM multiplexing transmitter. So here for this transmitter, let me take 2 message signals m1 of t and m2 of t with a Fourier transform of this one and the Fourier transform of this one. These are the 2 different shapes, and let me assume a W2 is greater than W1, means the bandwidth of the message signal m2 is greater than the bandwidth of the message signal m. We are going to give this as an input to the balanced modulator, means it is going to function like a multiplication. So therefore here the input is cos 2 pi fct and here is m1 of t. So therefore this output y1, so output y1 is nothing but here just multiplication m of t into cos of 2 pi fct. And similarly here we are going to use the Hilbert transform, means it is going to have a phase shift of minus 90 degree. So if you do the phase shift of minus 90 degree for this one, we are going to get sin 2 pi fct. So now for this balanced modulator there are 2 inputs, m2 of t and sin 2 pi fct. So balanced modulator will do as a function of multiplication. So therefore here also the output y2 is nothing but m2 of t into sin 2 pi fct, sin 2 pi fct. So here we are going to use summation. So therefore S of t is equal to summation of these 2 signals, which is nothing but S of t is equal to summation of the y1 plus y2. So therefore this is y1 and this is y2. So in the question also they are given S of t is equal to in this fashion. So for this S of t, what is the bandwidth we need to figure out. So here suppose S of n, so S of f we need to figure out the Fourier transform. So is that the product in the time domain is nothing but convolution in the Fourier transform. So therefore here now I am drawing the shapes here. See, now for m1 of t figure we need to do a phase shift of fc. So with respect of fc, so this is the fc diagram. So this is a plus fc, so this is plus fc and this is minus fc. So m1 of t must be shifted to fc. So m1 of t has a m1 of f as a plus w1 and minus w1. So therefore here we need to draw this shape like this. So therefore the base with fc plus w1 and fc minus w1. So same mirror image for the second one. So now m2 into sin 2 pi fct, here also mirror image. So therefore now for this one the mirror image, see the Fourier transform is nothing but here again like this manner. So therefore this is the, because w2 is greater than, so therefore fc plus w2 and this is fc minus w2. So here also same thing. So here also like this, it will be like this one. So mirror image. So minus of fc minus w2 and this is minus of fc plus w2. So now we need to find what is the bandwidth of this S of f. So bandwidth is nothing but highest frequency minus lowest frequency. So the highest frequency is fc plus w2 and the lowest frequency is fc minus w2. So therefore if you do the subtraction, we are going to get 2w2. So therefore it is simply we can write 2 into max of w1 comma w2. So of these two signals, whatever the frequency, whatever the bandwidth highest, that we need to take and multiply by 2. So therefore in the question they are given the message, first message signal as a bandwidth of 10 kilohertz and the second message signal as a bandwidth of 15 kilohertz. So therefore the bandwidth in this S of t has 2 times of max of individual bandwidths, 10 and 15. So out of this 10 and 15 the maximum is 15. So therefore 2 into 15 is nothing but 30 kilohertz. So therefore this S of t, it is going to have a highest frequency minus lowest frequency is called as the bandwidth. It has a bandwidth of 30 kilohertz. So now we are going to solve the 49th question. See the question here. An AM signal is detected using an envelope detector. The carrier frequency and the message signal frequency are 1 megahertz and the 2 kilohertz. An approximate value for the time constant of the envelope detector is. So here in this question they are given the message signal frequency and the carrier signal frequency. By using the envelope we are going to, means nothing but it is going to do the demodulation technique, means we are going to get back the original signal. So we need to find what is the time constant of this envelope detector. So what are the 4 options? Option B is the correct solution of this question, which is 20 microseconds. So let's solve this numerical. At the receiver end, the signal which we are going to receive is S of t AM, the modulated signal we are going to receive. So at the receiver end we need to keep a demodulation technique. So in this technique we are going to use the envelope detector. So this is called as the envelope detector circuit. So envelope detector circuit, this is combination of the diode, capacitor and resistor. This is called as the envelope detector. So output of this envelope detector is V0 of dash t. It is again given to the low pass filter. Then we are going to get the original message signal we are going to get. So therefore now here always the frequency of the carrier is always greater than the frequency of the message signal. So frequency is nothing but it is f1 by t. So therefore if fc is greater than fm is nothing but inversely, and the time period of the carrier signal is always lesser than the time period of the message signal. So therefore always the time constant of the envelope detector tau is equal to r into c. The time constant of RC circuit is nothing but r into c. So this time constant RC always it has to lie between the TC and TM. So it is going to lie between the TC and TM. So therefore here then only we can get the output signal. Otherwise we are not going to get the output as a pure message signal. So therefore TC is nothing but 1 by FC and TM is nothing but 1 by FM and tau is nothing but RC. So in the question they have given the message signal frequency is 2 kilohertz and the carrier signal frequency is 1 megahertz. So therefore in place of FC 1 into 10 to the power of 6 hertz and FM is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 3 hertz. So 1 by 1 into 10 to the power of 6 is nothing but 1 microsecond and 1 by 2 into 10 to the power of 3 is nothing but 0.5 milliseconds. So this is 1 microsecond and this is 0.5 millisecond. We can write like in terms of microsecond, which is 500 microsecond. So therefore this is a 500 microsecond. So RC can lie between the 1 microsecond and 500 microsecond. So in the question 500 microsecond, no, it has to lie between. So therefore this is not the case and this is also not the case. So this is 0.2 microsecond is even lesser than the 1 microsecond. So this is also not case. Only 20 microsecond lies between the 1 microsecond and 500 microsecond. So therefore this is the correct solution. See, always the time constant has to lie between the time period of the carrier signal and the time period of the message signal. Then only we are going to get the message signal as a purely this output signal as a message signal M of t. So now we are going to solve the last question of this lecture. See the question here. Consider a system shown in the figure. Let x of f and y of f denote the Fourier transform of x of t and y of t respectively. The ideal high pass filter has a cutoff frequency of 10 kilohertz. the positive frequencies where y of f has spectral peaks are. So in the question they are given some circuit diagram with a low pass filter between them, and we need to find what is the, so y of f has a highest peaks at what positive frequencies we need to figure out. So out of the four options, option B is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. This is a circuit which is given in the question. Balanced demodulator is nothing but it is going to do the product of the two input signals. So this output is given to the high pass filter with a cutoff frequency of 10 kilohertz, means only it is going to transfer only those frequencies which are higher than the 10 kilohertz, and the output of this is given as a for this balanced modulator, this C of t and this 13 kilohertz are again multiplied, and then the output is y of t. So for this y of f, the Fourier transform of y of f will have positive peaks in the y of f at what frequencies we need to figure out. So here this x of f, the Fourier transform of x of f, this is the figure which is given in the question. The frequency range is in kilohertz, so therefore it has a bandwidth of 0 to 3. So this is from -1 and this is -3. So therefore this has a bandwidth of 3 kilohertz. The highest frequency is 3 kilohertz and the lowest frequency is 0. So therefore 3 kilohertz is the bandwidth of this message signal. So here now the output of x of t and 10 kilohertz, if you do the multiplication, the output is p of t. So therefore p of t, so now the Fourier transform of p of t is nothing but in the time domain we are going to do the multiplication. So in the Fourier transform we have to do the convolution. So the convolution is nothing but here the reference is 10 kilohertz. So therefore take here plus 10 kilohertz and here you take the minus 10 kilohertz. Just take this figure at center 0, take the center 0 to the 10 kilohertz and draw the same shape. So therefore here now I am going to take this as center, so therefore I am going to draw the same figure like this one. So this is a figure, this is the figure we are going to get. So plus 1 plus 3 means again 10 plus 1 11, 10 plus 2 10 plus 3 is 13. So this is -1, 10 minus 1 is nothing but 9, 10 minus 3 is nothing but 7. Same figure we need to draw here also, same thing, just take the mirror image. So here also like this we are going to get here, this is the figure we are going to get. So now we have to transfer into the high pass frequency of 10 kilohertz. So therefore only the frequencies which are greater than the 10 kilohertz are going to pass, but not the lower frequencies. So therefore these are eliminated and this is also eliminated. So therefore only these frequencies are now transferred. So therefore from 10 kilohertz to 13 kilohertz only these frequencies are which are transferred. This is the Fourier transform of C of t. So now again balanced demodulator 13 kilohertz. Again now what we have to take, the reference is 13 kilohertz. The reference is 13 kilohertz and here is -13 kilohertz. So take this figure, take this whole figure at the 13 base. So therefore here this figure, this is 13, if it is 13 means 13 plus 10 is nothing but 23, 13 plus 11 24, 13 plus 13 26. So this is the figure we are going to get. And similarly 13 minus 10 is 13 minus 10 is nothing but 3. So therefore this is a 3. 13 minus 11 is nothing but 2 and 13 minus 13 is 0. So therefore this we are going to get. And similarly this one now you are taking at -13 reference. So -13 plus 10 is nothing but -3. -13 plus 11 is -2. -13 plus 13 is nothing but 0. So therefore this we are going to get. And for this one -13 minus 10 is nothing but 23. -13 minus 11 is -24. -13 minus 13 is nothing but -26. So this is the figure. So what I am trying to do is just shift, take this as the reference of 13 kilohertz, again -13, just shift the waveform, that's it. The application in the time domain is nothing but convolution in the frequency domain. So if you see carefully, for the positive frequencies, the frequencies have a peak value at 2 kilohertz and the 24 kilohertz there is a peaks. So therefore this peak is going to occur at 2 kilohertz and at 24 kilohertz. By this lecture we have successfully completed the 50 questions which are the previous year IAS or ESC exam of communication systems prelims in a very detailed manner. If you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever you upload a new video, the direct notification comes on mobile. If any improvements needed in our video lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Keep smiling, take care and bye bye.